Asha, if you're out there, please request to be let in. Let me see, 1 second. Oh, there she is. Okay, cool. Oh.
Hi.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Okay, let me fix.
It's so good to see you. Oh, I always love all the flowers in the background. Hi from the Netherlands. Hey, Soul Fam. Oh my gosh, all these beautiful souls, babes. Look at all these beautiful souls. Oh my gosh, just feeling the vibes. I love this group. I always just have loved your following, and you've got so much beautiful stuff that you're dropping into the collective. Happy Rising and happy Friday. Hi, everybody. Hello. Hi from the UK. Oh my gosh, they're just everywhere. All these beautiful little star seeds and light workers. Nancy. Hi, Nancy. Oh, Ireland. Oh, I'm a St. Patrick's Day baby. Woohoo. Yes. I love it.
Can you hear
Before
me?
we get started, can we just say that Ismael has just hit the gym? He was just telling me he was pumping some iron. Lucky us.
That's my daily ritual. That's how I ground myself physically. Because most people think it's about ascending and becoming these etheric beings. Well, I always believed it's about integrating spirit and matter. So your physique is a big part of this ascension process. It's part of our mind, body, spirit complex. It's the evolution of all, not just our spirit or our mind, but really, our bodies are as important. I've always believed that our bodies are extensions of our souls. So that's why I treat my body like a temple.
I love that. I do too, except I've got a massive appetite, even though I'm super tiny. It's because I'm a generator in human design, so I eat like a ton of food. It's actually like almost abnormal. I can like pound, I have like 3-course meals but I do a lot of cooking. I went to culinary school, so I meal prep and I make green drinks every week with like lion's mane and turmeric and chlorophyll and all that beautiful stuff. So I'm in the same wheelhouse as you, and just believing and knowing that it's multidimensional. And I love what you said about the grounding, how important that is. And I think that's sort of the basis of today for us, really, right? A little bit?
Indeed, it is, yes.
Yeah.
So my Asha here specializes in what is known as emotional IQ as opposed to intelligence IQ. So can you explain and elaborate on what emotional IQ is?
Sure. Thank you so much. So hello, everybody. First and foremost, I'm so grateful to Ismael for having me. I love you so much. You're a soul brother, and we're so blessed to have you in this lifetime showing up every day. So thank you. I want to tell a quick story. So guys, just so you know, Ismael and I both lost our Instagram accounts at the same time. And I got so bummed out and stopped for a little while. I think I've got 400 followers, and you did the exact opposite, and you were like, boom, go. And I was a month later, I'm like, oh my gosh, he is just amazing. So I just want to honor your dedication and just your commitment to getting the message out. So thank you. And also welcome to everybody. We've got about 270 people watching. What a beautiful turnout. Thank you so much for coming in. I'm going to invite you all, please, to just listen to the transmissions between myself and Ismael. We both carry a very high frequency. When that happens, you're able to receive the codes of what we're going to be discussing today. So it's really important that you open your heart space and receive what we're sharing today in an effort for you to begin raising your vibration as an honorable part of this co-creation. I'm covered in God shivers. So cool. So what is emotional intelligence? Just so you know, I've been in emotional intelligence for about 5 years. I started in corporate. I still have a corporate business and a business that works with businesses called Beyond EQ, Emotional and Energetic Intelligence. So go ahead and tell us if you have any idea what emotional intelligence is in the comments. I'm going to try and read them as they're coming in, but essentially our brain is split into 2 hemispheres. We have the right hemisphere, which is our emotions, our EQ, our emotional intelligence, and then we have the left, which is the analytical, our intelligence. So EQ I'll use in conjunction with emotional intelligence, but it means emotional quotient. So when we're doing this work, people always say, humans are emotional beings, and yes, we are, but we are also analytical. Otherwise, we wouldn't even need to name emotions. We wouldn't even care. but we do desire to label, we do desire to ground down. So with this work, what ends up happening when we exercise the understanding of emotions, and I mean really understanding the intellect behind every emotion that you have, because everyone vibrates at a different little frequency. None of them are bad. Crying is not bad. Sadness is not bad. When you really begin to understand this, it starts to amalgamate the left and the right hemisphere into one beautiful place of consciousness. So you might see this in our children. My son, for example, we do so much emotional intelligence work. He's super stoic. He cries in his own way. When he's just 12, he maybe goes privately, cries, moves through it, and catches the contradictions and has aha moments super fast. And as a result, he barely even needs to read books. He can understand a book without even opening it. He's so intelligent. And we're going to continue to see this, guys. And this is why I wanted to speak with Ismael today, because you guys already get it. You're already here following Ismael and understanding this. And really, this is bringing it back to the basics so that we're all ascending appropriately on the path of ascension, so that we can decondition and create a world with no trauma, heaven on earth.
Absolutely. And that is the end game for all of us.
Yes. And it's here. As you can feel it. It's such a beautiful moment. But as an intuitive, we can't get to the light until we pass through the dark, right? And I'm sure you can relate, Ismael. You have your moments of fire. You're the phoenix rising. I know you're a Scorpio as well. And so, is that right? Is your birthday?
Yes.
11, yeah. Wait, 10/23 or 11/22 or something, or 11/2?
First, I just gave my birthday.
Oh, it's one of them. Okay, sorry about that. And so, anyway, all of that said, we have to pass through that darkness. You can't just get to the good stuff. We want to. So many of us are even like, how do I get to be like that? How do I get to have a successful business? How do I get to live this life? How do I get to 45,000 followers on Instagram? And it's okay, because that's part of human nature to desire to have the thing now, because it's actually a dopamine hit in our brain saying that the next thing is going to help us. When we come back into the body, when we come back into the groundedness and the presence and begin doing the baseline work, that's when we really start to see the shifts and the change and feeling into the gratitude of now. So, yeah.
Wow. That is very well explained.
Thank you. So, for me, what I was going to say was, because we have to move through that darkness, we are going to experience, and this isn't to scare anybody, this is simple intellect, right? When we have awareness, when we have information, we can be prepared, right? We actually can't do anything without self-awareness. You can't change what we don't know. This is why forgiveness and empathy, which are parts of emotional intelligence, empathy is just one small part of 26 parts of EQ. Empathy is understanding that they can't see what they can't see. So when we move through the darkness in the next sort of 20 years, it's going to look different from what we know. And I'm going to give an example. So my son's 10, right? A lot of his friends' parents are divorced. A lot of people went through a lot of shit during COVID, right? Guys, go ahead and let us know if you felt the effects. Well, when you have a formative brain of a child who's anywhere between being born and 21, they start to get programmed, right? Like us, right? So for us, it might look like maybe you were a really abstract kid and people made fun of you. And then you have to deal with that in your adulthood, and you can't figure out why you can't take a risk because you're afraid. Or in my case, I was shushed a lot because I'm really loud and rambunctious. And to come back into my fullest expression has been scary. It's hard to put yourself out there, and you may feel scared. So when we had COVID happen in 2020, we experienced fear across the entire globe, and that is a frequency. So what happens is that frequency gets stuck into the child's brain, even though the child may just be reading a tablet or watching a tablet or playing Xbox or whatever. They're still picking up on the transmission of the frequency of fear, which means in the next 20 years, we're going to experience a whole new layer of core wounds, not just the mother wound, the father wound, abandonment wound. We're going to have a whole new layer of core wounds that we have not yet seen. Okay? So what the point of us ascending now and actually really doing this, really creating that internal Christ Sophia relationship, masculine feminine relationship, God goddess relationship, however you refer to it as, masculine and feminine divinity, eros damos, is going to create a holding place for these children so that they are able to move through with much more compassion and ease.
That is so true. That is
yeah. So that is something that we can all work together on. It's a beautiful thing. And so for me, my role right now is just to bring this shit back down to super simple. All right. We can spend a lot of time up in the galactics and the higher realms. I work as a quantum light body activator as well as a shaman. And I also do hypnotherapy and emotional intelligence. And I'm a trauma certified informed. My two modalities are attachment theory and PTSD from the International Trauma Training Institute. And all of that stuff I combine to create something that's digestible and easy for you guys to understand. Because we have to really sort of start at the baseline, and that's EQ and understanding the current core wounds.
That is so indeed aligned with what I've been studying regarding, the galactics and the advanced extraterrestrial races. That's how they school their children from the beginning. They teach them about the balance between the right brain and the left brain. And it's not just about learning and, understanding facts, which is left brain, but it's also about understanding emotion and the range of emotions and how to master the emotional body. Because by mastering the emotional body, that's how we control the electronic force that runs through our bodies. That's how we're able to communicate with animals. That's how we're able to perform telekinesis, is through the emotional mastery. And that is so in alignment with what I've studied about the extraterrestrial races. And that's one of the reasons why these advanced civilizations live in harmony and are so, they have IQs of 400 to 500. Okay? Einstein only had an IQ of 190, I think. Tesla, IQ of 199 or 200. But when you are part of a world where everyone's IQ is 400, 500, it's not necessarily because they're just pure raw intelligent. It's because they have that balance of emotion and left brain. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I love everything you shared. I got to tell you, so we're moving soon. And I was at my house. This is a vision I had. Like, I was older, I had gray hair, and I was speaking to a friend, and the level of intellect to which we were discussing was on such a high frequency in this vision, I actually couldn't even understand what a future version of me was saying. It was so weaved in to the intellect. For myself, even when I pick up a book, I'll read like a paragraph, and then my brain starts to create like multiple dimensions of intellect throughout the message that's being delivered for me. The point in which I am now is I accept transmission codes so quickly that I don't spend a lot of time in the shit or reaching outside of myself for happiness. But a lot of people aren't quite there yet, and they don't really quite get how to get to a place where it is all about that sovereignty within. And as you mentioned, it's that amalgamation of the right and the left hemisphere, and really understanding the intellect behind the emotion. So in emotional intelligence, there's 26 competencies. They include growth areas: communication, empathy, behavioral self-control, which is like your triggers, self-awareness, of course, building bonds, building trust. That's just 6. There's 26 of them. And they're each little gateways for you to go in and identify the emotion. So I'm going to suggest for everybody too, to just download the emotions wheel and start using that to actually feel in your body. It sounds silly, but so many of us go, oh, I'm super sad, or I'm pissed off. You're not. You feel upset. You feel pissed off. You feel sad. You are only I am when you get to the higher vibrations of joy, love, and gratitude. But otherwise, you want to separate yourself from the energy and motion and not be it. And again, this is so baseline, but so many of us do it. I was listening to a coach on emotional intelligence the other day actually say to her audience of over 10,000 people, don't feel shame. And I was like, no, you have to feel shame. Shame is, you feel every single emotion. You don't shame. You feel it. You let it come up and out of you, because all it is energy. And the stigma around feeling heavy emotions is what hindered us from our greatest growth and our fucking ultimate power. The power. What do you relate to that, Ismael, in your experience with emotions?
It is really our source of our power. And when we do ascend, it's going to be the key that's going to allow us to, or pretty much the factor that's going to allow us to control, our powers, pretty much. But I also believe that as a hybrid species that we are composed of 22 different genetics of extraterrestrial species coming together in one. We carry the highest diversity of emotions, so it's actually crucial for us to master and feel every level of emotion, because without understanding full spectrum of emotion, it's almost like it defeats the purpose of us becoming this hybrid race. Because the whole purpose is for us to have the greatest range of emotions, and that is what distinguishes us from all the other extraterrestrials out there, and galactic royalty, because that is the source of our power. Is not only feeling the spectrum of emotions, but really learning how to master.
Yes.
Because even when we feel these negative emotions, it's okay to feel them. Like you said, it's okay to feel guilty at times,
Absolutely.
or sad. If somebody passes away, it's okay to mourn and feel that grief. But at the same time, it's best to once you feel it, you have to release it, and then that's this. When we learn how to release these negative emotions, we continue ascending. We become, our light becomes brighter and brighter when we learn emotions. And as a collective, we starseeds, we're here to transmute all the negative density that has been accumulated for thousands of years on this planet. Because that's what we're doing. We're transmuting all the negative energy of the collective.
100%. And I'm actually going to go ahead and even offer in a mindset switch around the word negative emotion, because we want to get to a place where no emotion is negative. It just is. It's only energy. So in my practice, I use words like dense or maybe a little heavy, because I'm activating my light body. So I'm being asked to remove density so I can expand, which means I'll be able to heal and help more people, because I'm in a really level and grounded place. I've transmuted it, and then the universe pays you with people that have not transmuted it, who are ready to receive the message and receive the code. This is why I also believe in soul aligned work and actually monetizing this, because money is just an energy. And so when you actually really start to understand that there's no such thing as negative emotion, and saying, I'm just feeling sad, there's no shaming, because so many people, you find often people say things like, oh no, don't be sad, or what can I do to fix it? And really what we want to do is just honor that emotion for people, because when we start to do that and desire to fix a person, we're actually really only trying to keep ourselves comfortable. Our nervous system is what's affected when somebody else is having a bad emotion or a dense emotion, right? So example would be like if my son started to cry and I started to want to try to fix it, I'm actually only doing that because my nervous system is uncomfortable around his heavy emotion. So I personally believe that nothing is negative. It only just is. And when you change that relationship, you love letting it go. You love crying. I mean, I will do these car cries that are just like a next level. I put like on some really sad music and I'm just like, ah! And I'm a mermaid. So I'm like totally like, I pretend like I'm like sitting on my mermaid rock and I'm just like having this emotional release. And as you know, Ismael, the insight's on the other side, don't you think?
I do. I agree.
Yeah. So we take it a little further in my work. We also do field work, which is what you had, which was the energy session that we did. So it's like a unique blueprint of actually moving into the field. So let's say you feel sad, your chakra system will naturally clear that out over time. But if you desire to move a little bit faster at, let's say, a little bit of a quantum speed, and you want to be there now, you must go into the subconscious and into the shadow to release whatever story that you're holding on to. And I do that with a very unique blueprint that's like a combination of, I don't even know what I'm doing in there. Just going in there doing all these crazy things.
Yeah, I do appreciate you doing the healing work that we did on our first live about a year ago. I did feel the difference. I felt like I was like alleviated from something that was still lurking deep in my unconscious mind, perhaps you could say. And I did feel the difference. You know, your work is 100%, you know, accurate, and it's very. I just wanted to thank you for that, you know, energy work that we did last year, and we live. You know, it was interesting. It was fascinating. We did it, and
I remember. Okay, so I remember after your session, I actually can feel your field for a period of time, and there was like a surge of power. I even actually think you went and like wrote a little bit of your book, and I was like, yes, personal power activated, because I'm fully dedicated to my mission. I live right now in a life where I'm in full dedication to the source, the masculine source. I call him my king. You might call him God. Doesn't really matter. I have such a strong relationship there, and that was a year ago. So I mean, I'm just feeling like it's just the most amazing thing, and I want to encourage anybody who's been on this path for such a short time, or even if you've been on it for 20 years, it really doesn't matter. It's how deep you're willing to go inside of yourself. So I just wanted to share that as well. So well done on doing that all the time and going in and clearing Ismael, because it certainly makes you magnetic.
Yeah, and I do remember, and I think you even mentioned that you were knocked out, like you were pulled back and you fell on your back when you were doing the interview.
Yes, and then I called you like the next day, and I was like, I have all these messages. Are you ready to receive them? And you're like, yes. And I'm like, you're filled with power, so much power. It was awesome. I actually loved that session. I did. I got knocked back. That doesn't happen that often. It happens on occasion, but you really have to be at a certain frequency to have that type of response. But most people, when they work with me, there's 3 results. You lose weight, you get stronger and better love in relationships, and you make more money. And it's very simple, because energy doesn't segregate. It's the mind, body, soul. And the soul is the soul work of money and the acceptance of the provision of the masculine, which is money.
So basically, by understanding emotion and by allowing emotion to take its course, and you're saying that through that energetic work, we attract healthier relationships. You know, we become more inspired in life. Correct?
Absolutely.
Okay,
so yeah, go ahead.
You go first.
Okay, well, I was going to say, so basically what we do is, and what happens in the world is we're born at a certain frequency. So most of us are born, we're not conditioned. We're born out of the womb, pure angelic children, but we will have conditioning based off of our DNA and our ancestors. What we're going to start seeing is the next generation of children who are born from people like ourselves who are doing this ascension work. They're going to start having like really clean vessels and more strands of DNA, potentially 12. Maybe in this lifetime we'll see 24. Let's see what plays out. Momentum is very real. This is why I'm so advocate about this work, because we are experiencing a period of sort of disconnection and laziness a little bit in the collective, or a lot of men and women not dating each other, finding hard to date each other. And my desire is to stop all of that and to get everybody connected again. And so what happens is we become conditioned. I started this with talking about, maybe if you, like in the example of myself, I was very loud, and I had a great relationship with my parents, but my father wasn't around a lot, and I was super, super sensitive. And so I have a really big attachment wound. So that replicates in my relationships, right? Where you know, I might be after a man, and then once I get him, I want to like throw it away. So that happened to me. And then when I saw myself, the person I was with didn't want anything to do with me. It was like a push-pull dynamic of attachment and avoidance. So in that, my frequency may have been, let's say, like, if we were doing a chart, my frequency was like here, right? And these are the 26 areas of emotional intelligence. And my frequency was here, right? Over time, now my frequency is up here. So for example, one of these might be my behavioral self-control, right? I'm snappy. It used to be like this. I work on that, which is the analytical side, where you're going, okay, it's not just like, what's wrong with me? Let's shoot an arrow in the dark. It's my behavioral self-control is role. We work on that. We do energy work around that, and it raises it. And my goal in this lifetime is to get like this. My resilience is really high. So I want to get to a point where I'm super, super, super high in frequency. So when you do the emotional work, and you start with shadow work, and then you do feminine and masculine balancing work, that's the order. Carl Jung speaks into this, starting with know thyself, shadow, into anima animus. and then you sort of move up, that's when you're going to have like amazing results in your frequency and raising your frequency.
Makes perfect sense. I agree.
Yeah.
It's the shadow work that we're able to rise even higher.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so there for me was always emotional intelligence hasn't been exercised to the capacity to which it is. And I keep seeing it over and over and over again in the collective, let's say around some embodiment coaches or other types of coaching where people, including myself, I was this person, this is why I can speak into this, may not see what they can't see yet. And because there's not a lot of emotional intelligence exercising, it gets really difficult. I'm just realizing how important EQ is. I just keeps coming up. Like, it's amazing. So yeah, and so much more than we've ever thought it to be. It's just unbelievable. Yeah, someone's saying shadow work is foundational to ascension. It's 100% true. And it's not even just the shadow work. It's shadow work and emotional intelligence for me. I believe that the two go hand in hand for ascension. And that in the results are, I mean, we've had over 135 clients go through my shadow work program, and every single one of them is like, oh my God, like, you know, I mean, it's such a difference. I don't know. It's just something I feel like we've kind of missed a little bit, and it's exciting to bring it to the collective.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. Good.
So when are you going to do like your next workshop in order for, you know, people to sign up and get this work done?
Thank you so much for asking. Okay, so for this group, we have put together a program. It's 4 days. It's called Frequency. My assistant is here. She's going to drop the link right now. Her name is Jo Haley, and maybe we can post that as well after, Ismael, for everybody to come and join us. We'd love to have you come. It is a 4-day event called Frequency, and it is all about taking these learnings over a 4-day event where we're going to give you workbooks, and the investment price is $222, so $222. It's also going to include a free abundance activation where I'm clearing the codes in your scarcity mindset, which you listen to for 21 days. That's also included. And also I will be doing live activations where I basically work in your light body while also simultaneously digging into the shadow. So it will be packed. We normally run this at about $600 or $555, and we're doing it for the audience today at $222. And we would love for you to come. Like, I'm just so excited to put this out. It's called Frequency. And the idea is to get people starting to think about a couple things: taking more money, ascending and understanding emotional intelligence, and getting lined up with their soul's purpose and start monetizing this. We're having unbelievable results in my business. We just did over $100,000 in the last 2 months. So yeah, so it's momentum, right? So we're building momentum because we're clearing inward, and then the outward is the result. You change you, everything around you changes. And I'm honored to bring this forward to as many people who are desiring to be in this energy so that we can start getting you these results. Same with the ascension, with the abundance activation. I'll go ahead and you guys sign up for this and I'll share that with you. We've had results where people have got a $50,000 check, $5,000 check, just really amazing stuff that we're capable of simply by clearing the codes in our body and raising our vibration. So.
Wow, it's so amazing how all this relates to our own energetic work, via our emotional control and really how to just understand and process emotions. I believe that that is so true, because when you think about it, most people are working a third-dimensional job, and for most like their job, and that's just because they're not meant to work that job. They come from these higher realms, and they come into this world where it's like, reality is so different, so dense. You're pretty much getting paid to give your time to someone else. And the whole purpose of us establishing a heaven on earth is to really do what you like to do best. And that involves, things that include your talents, your hobbies, pretty much what you would do if you weren't getting paid. And that's how your abundance should be. I've always believed that five-dimensional reality is about doing what you like and doing it because you enjoy it, because it comes from your heart. And that's when that's how you get your abundance.
100%. You are nailing it right now. It's so me. I cook, roller skate, go to the gym, dance. I love doing all these things. And in much for having me.
You're welcome, Asha. Your work is greatly appreciated. You know, you are helping others. You are in service to others. And to me, that is, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring forth this to as many people as possible so that everyone can be living their 5D ideal reality life. Where exit the matrix and no longer be enslaved to a 9 to 5. Because every starseed out there has a gift and has a talent. And they deserve to get paid for that gift and talent. They deserve to make a living out of that. Because really, that's what they're meant to do,
Yes. Oh my gosh, guys, it's the most beautiful thing. It is truly the most beautiful thing. I've mentioned myself, Sophie, and Joe Haley, it's my team right now, we have taken about $99,000 in the last 2.5 months. Without even really, I don't want to say trying, because it takes work to get there, right? You have to move through your emotions. You got to move through the shit that's telling you that you're not worthy of that. But because you are, abundance is your birthright. Abundance is your birthright. You don't need to give up anything. We've been boxed in, work this job, do this. You can only make this amount of money. I'm going to tell you right now, you are completely able to make $1 million a month. That is complete. Some of you may not be able to wrap your head around that at the moment. And you might be like, oh, that's crazy. This lady's nuts. But it's true, because it's just an energy. So expanding your insides, allowing for the expansion inward, is going to give you the capability to hold that type of abundance. You can't just get that type of money. When that happens, like, let's think about somebody who's in a lottery, wins the lottery. They usually end up spending it right away. Money leaks. They have money leaks because they're in the wrong relationship, or they don't have a healthy relationship with money. Money is love. Money is energy. It's a tool to help you reach more people. Imagine what you could do when you're earning $1 million a month. How many people you can help, how many people you can reach with that type of energetic power in the form of money. It's a limiting belief to feel as if you are not as worthy as some other Tom, Dick, and Harry that created an app. If you're doing heaven-driven work from God, I'm covered in shivers. If you are doing heaven-driven work from God, you are the ones that should have the money in your hands. You're the one that's going to do good with that. Sure, buy yourself an awesome bag. Go for it. Take a good holiday. You deserve it. But at the end of the day, your main intention is driven in love. It's driven in love. And when the energy behind your intention is love, you are the strongest force on earth. Someone wrote, money is power. Money is the vehicle and the response to the power that you have within your own being.
That's
Yes.
Powerful, Asha.
Yes. Yes. And we're all deserving of it, guys. We all are. So the sooner you start building momentum and planting seeds within your own self, you seed yourself. That's why we're doing this course at only $222, because it's a small seed investment for reaping what you sow when you begin to receive the energy of pure abundance through emotional intelligence.
Wow, beautifully stated.
I love it. I love you, Ismael. You're just the best. I can't wait to hit the gym with you.
Well, just to let you know, I do lift heavy weights, so.
Me too. I think you're going to be surprised, actually. I've got this weird thing where I have like an ability to lift huge amounts of weights. I'll film it and put it on Instagram so you can have a look.
For sure.
People are like, that mermaid's crazy. But it's awesome. And guys, I want to leave you guys on that note. You can do anything that you put your mind to. I truly believe that. I promise you, what I went through in my ascension, I have been abandoned. I was sexually assaulted twice in a year. I had to move country. I got divorced, and I still managed to get myself out of that and build